Good morning. It is Elizabeth here on Tasty Yeses. On today's episode, I want to talk to you about the best sales ever for 2021. How about that? Are you ready for that? I'm super excited this week because we actually just launched our pre-party launch party inside of the Facebook group, my Facebook group, because we are getting ready for the launch to sold out, the free bootcamp event that is happening next week. So while I'm here, let me know if you are tuning in live or catching here the replay. I'm just going to do a quick tech check here to make sure that I'm on, and I am. So here is some things that I want to talk to you about today. If you are thinking about 2021 and you're thinking about, gosh, I was just telling the group yesterday that it's hard to believe that by next week, January is going to be almost done, and we only have 11 months left in 2021. I see folks joining. Let me know that you're here. Say hi in the comments. Let me know that you're here. Show me that you're present. Where are you tuning in from? Let me know. I actually this morning was just debating if I should have coffee or tea. Let me know if you are a coffee or tea drinker. Are you a coffee or tea drinker in the morning? I have to admit that I don't need the coffee, but I do love me some coffee. So let me know in the comments if you're a coffee or tea drinker, or if you're catching this on the live or the replay. So I want to talk to you today about really, with almost 11 months left to go, really, how do we start to really think about how do we conquer our best self and our best selves ever? 2020 is behind us, right? And many of us have taken the opportunity to reinvent ourselves, the customer trends with how people are showing up online, the behaviors with Eventbrite, Facebook, YouTube, has been showing me that 2020 was all about really enlightenment, turning awareness into action. And so 2021, I predict, is really going to be the year where people are going all in with deeper connections and really challenging themselves to really find really that deeper connection to their passion, to their goals, to their dreams. And it is going to be, I think, if you are an onlinepreneur, a business coach or a consultant, any service provider, it's going to be that opportunity for you to step up even more, show up with your best self, and really take that opportunity to really meet your people where they're going to be at, which is all online. So let's talk about the 3 moves. If you've been thinking about how am I going to have my best self and best self and best selves ever, right? So I'm going to pull my tablet here in just a moment as we're looking at this because I'm a big tablet gal. But oftentimes when you are thinking about your business, especially in the online space, there's a lot of content that we have to start looking at. Like there's a lot of content production that needs to happen, right? And so some of the things that I want to make sure that you're thinking about as you're thinking about how can I really have this best self ever, best year ever, there's really 4 money levers that in every business you've got to make sure that is connected, is consistently happening, right? So connection and consistency are key. So when you're looking at your best self ever, usually I can tell by my clients and students' engagements, by their number of sales, by really their funnel, whether or not they're consistent. So your inconsistency in your business, right, are going to yield inconsistent and scattered sales. That's really key here, folks. So let's talk about really what does it take to really think about your best self, okay? So I'm going to pull this up here And if you're tuning in, let me know where you're tuning in from, right? We'll talk about that in a little bit here. I'm going to draw this out because I'm a big drawer. Not the best, but I get there. So I want you to think about your best self ever. Really, you're at the center of really what's going to take this year for your whole entire business to grow, right? So in the center is you. And we talked about consistency, but I want you to just challenge yourself to say, what are you not saying yes to? Oftentimes, your next breakthrough is really on the other side of yes. Are you giving your permission? Are you giving yourself permission to say yes to what it is that you really, really want? Are you giving yourself permission to dream and say yes to what it is that you really want to work on? Right? What do I mean by that? I was recently in a conversation with a prospect, a potential client, about where she really wanted to go in her business, right? We were having this conversation around a new online income stream that she was going to launch. And we were talking about really, is this a viable online income stream? Meaning, is this something that she could turn where she can get residual, consistent income and revenue every single month? Or was this really just a passion hobby, a passion project that she could just kind of fold into what she already had or what she was already doing, right? So as an example, you already have one successful program that people really just love and enroll in, and it's sort of your cash cow. You get consistent residual income in, right? And you're like, oh, it's working. And then you have this other great idea where you're like, oh, I want to now do like a subscription box, almost like a kit that I want to include in this. Now, should this be separate as a hobby and like a separate income, or should the subscription kit just be folded into the program that I'm currently doing? Like, that's an example of, is it a hobby where you want to just do it because you really love it? Or is it an additional new income stream? Like, I'm going to now create a new offer with a subscription kit that's going to go out. Or the third option is, do I fold it into what I'm currently doing right now in my program? Like, these are options that as a business owner, you've got to decide, right? So her and I were talking about really at the heart of this, right? What is it that she really wants, right? Is she just sort of itching? Many of us entrepreneurs itch for a new project, new creativity. And so we're working on this side thing, right? It's a hobby until we decide to make money out of it and go all in to monetize it, right? So in that conversation I was having with her, it was really around, do you want to say yes to? And what's holding you back, right? Is she starting to feel that she's no longer as connected to her programs? So even though it's paying the bills and she has consistent residual income coming in for this, is this no longer her thing? She's feeling maybe less passionate about it, right? Or is she really, this bright idea for the subscription kit came along because there's truly a need for it with her audience? She's trying to solve a new problem with her same audience. These are real business questions and dilemmas that as a business owner, you're looking to grow and scale that you have to go through, right? And so what most people do is they'll just say, I want to do this program, I'll do that. I want to do this subscription, I'll do that. Oh, I have this great idea, I'll do that. And they end up having like this a la carte menu of products, services, and offers, hoping and praying that someone can just come onto the website, scroll down, and pick and shop for what they want. And that is not the way to bring in consistent income every month, okay? So what is it that you want to say yes to? That's really at the heart of your best self, right? So let's talk about what that starts to look like for you. So when you want to focus on sales and really making money in your business, right? At the heart, you've got to say yes to yourself. You've got to say yes to yourself. What is it that you really want? What is it that you really want? Then the second lever that you need to really be honing in on is really this. What is my customer's success? What does that look like for him and for her? If you're a coach, it's the transformation, right? If you're a consultant, it's likely transformation, saving money, or wealth building. If you are in e-commerce or retailer, it's more about the experience of whatever it is that you're selling. This is really where, if you're retail, your brand, right, promise is really key, right? Because you are not like a coach or consultant where you're providing a service, and most, service-based entrepreneurs are just cranking out services. Their offers don't change much. But if you're running a business and you're in retail, e-commerce, jewelry, clothes, makeup, shoes, right? Like, your churn in your inventory is much, much higher and faster than, let's say, a service-based provider like a realtor, lawyer, coach, consultant, right? So what you focus on is you focus on building your brand, right? So it doesn't really matter the inventory, you're just churning. I geeked out a little bit on business there, right? But that's my point, is that regardless if you're a service provider or you're e-retailer, you're still focused on customer success, whether that's pulling the lever on your brand. Both of them need a brand, but for e-commerce, it's a lot more on your brand building than it is for service providers. There's a little bit more weight on there. Does that make sense? So if you are showing up, are you loving this? Let me know in the comments. Drop me some notes. And if you want my handout for today's topic, just go ahead and type handout in the comments, and my team will be sure to get that out to you. So you've got to be clear on what the customer success is for your person, right? You've got to be clear, because if you're not clear on what customer success is for your dreamy customer, it's so hard to stay motivated and engaged, and it's so hard to deliver on those results. Okay. I was just working with another client recently. We were looking at her nail products, and even though you're thinking, oh my goodness, these are just nail products. The reality is that what she's really selling is not nails. That's just a vehicle for the outcome of what her audience really wants, right? And this is usually true with many beauty products. Women want to feel beautiful because it boosts their confidence, right? So what you're selling may be the vehicle, nail products, jewelry, clothes, but what you're really promising is confidence. That's your brand. And those that can make the connection that leads your dreamy customer to understand that customer success, boosting confidence, boosting sales, whatever that is for you, are the ones that are really going to be able to get the sale. Does that make sense? Are you loving this? Shall I continue? Let me know in the comments. All right, so then what's next? You're looking at your best sales ever. So we got customer success, right? We got customer success. We also got to look at your marketing, right? Your marketing. And the third component that we got to look at, right, is really your product. So all three of these sort of work in tangent in order for you to really get at driving up your sales. And this is really key, because here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to draw in another way, because I want you to get this. This is how powerful it is. Okay. So when you're looking at this, right, and you're thinking, what are the three moves when I'm thinking about my product and sales? I'm thinking about my marketing and sales. I'm thinking about my product, and I'm thinking about my customer success, right? These are, when you're growing your business, you're constantly having to be in sync with all of this, right? Like, if you're going to up level in your customer success, you've got to say yes to yourself. I often tell my students and clients, if you do not say yes to yourself, if you can't even say yes to the price that you want to charge to yourself, ain't nobody going to say yes to you. You've got to say yes to yourself first before your customers will say yes to you. Are you following me on that? Because if you can't say yes to yourself, why would anyone else say yes to you? Right? Because when we go out there and we sell, when we go out there and we market and promote ourselves, what we're selling is us. People buy us before they buy what we're selling, right? Are you feeling me on that? If you are, show me that you're here. Type in the comments, say present, that you are present, that you are like, heck yeah, feeling me on this. Should I keep going? Should I stop? I don't know. Right? This is what happens when you're an extrovert talking to a camera. Okay? So these are the different levers in your business when you're looking at your best self. Is, are you saying yes to yourself? Are you clear on your customer success? Are you clear on what your marketing and sales are and your product? Do you have an irresistible, yes-worthy offer? Okay. But see, these are just like, you're probably sitting there, you're like, well, Elizabeth, I already know that. This is business stuff. These are what I call the business fundamentals, right? Well, what are really the 3 moves that you've been talking about that you're like, Elizabeth, these are the things that you need to do. So I'm going to show you that right now. Okay. I'm going to show you that right now. So when it comes, these are the 3 moves that you, after saying yes to yourself, after saying yes to your pricing, after saying yes to what it is that you really, really, really want, is here are the 3 things. The first one, leadership. You've got to up-level your leadership. Because leaders know the way, they show the way, and they are the way. So in your marketing, in your sales, you are communicating to your audience, I know the way. I know how to help you lose 10 pounds if you want to lose weight. I know how to make you gorgeous if you're looking for a makeup makeover, right? I know how to help you find true love or maybe date again if you're a relationship coach. You know the way. And you show the way. By buying my product, by buying my program, this is the how inside of what I know to be true. And you are the way. This is really going back to your leadership, your presence, your brand, whatever you want to call it. You are leading by example here, right? The second step is co-creation. What do I mean by that? What do I mean by that? I often say that we spend way too much time in developing our product, creating our product, and deciding what our product is. And the truth is, you really just need to know customer success. You need to, know what your dreaming customer's definition of success is. Because once you know that, like 90% know that, your product only needs to be about 50% done. Seriously. Because you actually want to co-create your product and your program with your dreamy customer. You don't want to know it all. You don't, because you could be wrong, right? So you want to be about halfway there and then say, come along for the ride. I know that at the end of the day, you really want confidence in how you feel when it comes to beauty. I know that you want wealth in getting wealth and what that provides to you, which is a sense of security or maybe power or status, right? I know that your success is love in your relationships. That's what success is. So, your product, your program only needs to be about 50% there. And then the other half, you're co-creating it with them. That's the magic. Because when you're co-creating it with them, this is what happens. They feel like you truly, madly, deeply know them. That you're listening, right? That you're listening and you're taking their feedback and you're incorporating it in. And they're like, oh my gosh, this is the best product, the best program ever. Because you totally get me. Are you hearing me on that? So that is really key here. If you want my notes for this, make sure that you type handout in the comments and my team will get that to you, right? So when they say pre-sell a program or pre-sell a product first to see if anyone's going to buy it, that is really what you're doing. And behind the scenes, most people may not even have their product or program done. I like to at least have it about 50% there. And the reason why I say halfway there is because I want to know if that's something that I really want to work on when I get people to sell and say yes. Because if I don't feel passionate about it, even if people want me to be doing it and people are like, Elizabeth, do you do marketing? And I'm not passionate about it, I politely decline, right? So that's really key here, okay? So what's the third move that you got to be focused on that's going to take you from from your product to your marketing is you've got to connect. And this is on two things. Like I just finished up my mini course on human selling and the sales foundation. So if you're interested in really just taking and learning the sales foundation to sell from a human connection perspective, type sales course in the comments and my team will get that link out to you, okay? But sales course in the comments. But this is really at two levels. So the first level of connection is really around the human connection, right? Are you able, as you're leading and you're showing people the way, and know that you know the way, and you're co-creating with them, are you connecting with them at a human element level? Especially in the online space, you've got to have what I call human speak, okay? Because human speak really gives people, your audience, the reaction that you're relevant to them, the reaction that you get them, that you understand them, right? And so when you are connecting at the human connection level, and that's a part of how you sell, that's a part of how you lead, and that's a part of your marketing strategy and how you show up, right? And notice that when you're connecting at a human level, right? This right here, right? Notice that you have to lead, and notice that because you're connecting at a human level, that you're almost like, if you will, connecting and conversating and listening, you are co-creating. So this human connection really lives throughout. It's like the glue that holds everything together, right? It's really the human element, human speak is what I call it, right? And then the second piece is the systems. And when I say connect through systems, you might be thinking tech, but what I mean by here is really your processes, your operations, your efficiencies, your flows, all of these things that are like moving at 100 miles an hour, all of that has to connect the dots. I often talk about one clear conversion path. Do you know that if you do a live, how many sales you're going to get? Do you know once you get those sales, how you're going to onboard your clients, right? Or do you know that once you get emails, how you're going to move people from your subscription or your email list to your Facebook group? And then once you get them there, how do you move them from your Facebook group to wherever it is that you want to go next? So one clear conversion path, right? Your emails is not just for you to send coupons out to, right? Like your email list isn't just there. People visiting your brick and mortar store, if you have one, and you still are open, isn't just to come and provide service. Like you've got to think, once I get them inside my brick and mortar store, how do I stay connected with them online so that they want to come back, right? Or if you own a brick and mortar store and you're like, oh my goodness, with the pandemic right now, how do I start to, again, what do I sell and how do I diversify online? You still got to connect the dots. So when I talk about connection here, it's the human speak, but it's also the systems. It's the whole strategy or roadmap or plan that is behind the scenes. Are you loving this? Let me know in the comments. Oh, I love this. This person says, y'all, facebook.com StreamYard, if you don't mind clicking on that so I can actually see you, that would be awesome. You have to be a co-creator. So if you want your best self and best sales ever, these are the 3 things that you've got to do, right? You've got to realize that in red, that is just business fundamentals, right? The levers that you pull to make money in your business. But the 3 things the 3 moves that you got to up level to, right, is you've got to lead, own it. Whatever definition of leadership you have about it being a fancy title, years of experience, credibility, being nominated, toss it aside, right? If you have a preconceived conception that it is all about managing a team, toss that. That's management. That's not leadership, okay? And then you've got to co-create, and you've got to learn how to co-create, which is very different from collaboration, okay? Collaboration is like you bring, it's almost like making a pizza. I'll use that analogy. Like, it's like you bring the sauce and I'll bring the stuff to make the dough, and then together we'll throw the ingredients on top. To me, that is collaboration, right? Co-creation is like this. It's, hey, I hear that you want Italian tonight. What do you think would be good for Italian? Oh, pizza. Oh, you want pizza? I want lasagna. How can we make that happen? Right? So it's more of a conversation. It's more of like listening and figuring out how do we co-create this magical experience or this delivery or this output together. It is a very, very different conversation than collaboration, which, by the way, most people, it's a different conversation for a different day. So yes. And if you want my notes, make sure you type handouts in the comments and my team will get that out to you. Oh, Miley had to go to work, but she wanted to say hi. Hi, Miley. All right, cool. So that's really key. So here's another thing that I want to just make sure that you're thinking about, and I'm going to just draw it in this way. Let me see here. So as you're thinking about this, I'm not the best artist, so no judgment there, but I definitely don't mind sketching things out. Here's how I want you to think about how you need to show up. Oops. I have my light that just went out. Let's turn that baby back on. All right, awesome. So in your business, right, you often think about this, right? I want you to think of marketing as almost like golf. We're going to use a golf analogy, right? This is marketing. Okay. This is the sale that you're after. This is the sale. Okay. This is the sale. Okay. You're like, buy me, right? Marketing is really focused on this, right? Marketing is like the path to really getting there, right? This is the field, right? Sales is really just sort of this path there, right? This is like the path. That's sales. Your product is a golf ball. Right? So this, my friend, is customer success, because this is really where, hey, this is what your people want. Guess where you fit in? Your job is to make sure that your audience gets the product in the whole, right? And your job simply with sales, right, with all this marketing that you did, is simply just to slightly, right, nudge that ball and get it into the hole. And so oftentimes we think of like marketing and sales as like the same thing, but it's really not. It's really not. Think of marketing as really, are you loving this? I see. Yeah, send me some hearts and emojis if you love this, right? Like, I'm not an artist, but I think what golf analogy is, I think, really simple to understand. I hope it is, right? Is that marketing is really sort of like the golf course, and your sales is really that nudge right when the ball is about to get to the customer success, because you're getting people to that product and you're like, here's my product, right? Buy me. And this is the hole that's going to be like the magic, like ball in one, right? Like the hole. And you're just literally like nudging that ball through sales into the hole. And it is up to you, my friend, to say yes to that. It is up to you, my friend, to say yes to that, right? So this is just really another way of really just looking at what I just drew earlier, right? This is just really this. Okay. So I'm going to invite you, if it's okay with you, to say, hey, how can I put this all together, right? How can I put this all together? I want to invite you to join me for my boot camp next week, because those are the parts that we are actually all putting together. And if I know that some of you on here are already going to be there, which I'm really super excited for, right? How many of you are coming to the boot camp? Type boot camp in the comments. Those that are watching right now, so I can see who's coming. So for the boot camp, launched is sold out. It's a free 5-day boot camp. Give me 5 hours. I promise you're going to walk away with so much value, more than your last investment, right? But that's exactly what we're going to be covering. We're going to be covering the money levers that I've been talking about, right? Marketing and product, your sales, you, and customer success. And so for the 5-day boot camp, this is just a sneak peek of what we're going to be covering, right? Let me see if I can zoom in on this. Can I zoom in on this? Yeah, here we go, right? Day 1, we're going to be talking about positioning, how to be the go-to number 1 expert. I often say, if you want to command higher prices, you better damn well be the number 1 expert in whatever it is, because if you're not going to get those high prices, okay? And this is not about being the smartest or the best with the years of credentials. It's really not about that at all. Day 2, we're going to be covering one of 6 online income streams, right? Courses is one of them, membership. How do you know what is right for you? That's what we're covering, day 2. Day 3, social media. People are always like, oh, I want to know what social media content's all about. Well, my friend, we're going to be talking about marketing and content, and I call this your client getting machine, because let's be real. We know we need to be on social media, but it's a lot of work, isn't it? It's a lot of work, isn't it? And so, let me see here. I got some people here multitasking and trying to let's see. Noonie is going to be there. Yes, Noonie was just our day 1 giveaway winner. Accountability travel swag. She's getting that. Who else we got in here? Oh, I can't tell who this person is, y'all. StreamYard has me blocked. But this person, Facebook user, is in boot camp. Got boot camp. Got handout. Yes, love it, right? So, yes. Okay. So let's talk about what else is happening at the boot camp. Boot camp, right? We're talking about sales, how to lead with human speak to sell without sleaze and stress. And let me be real with y'all. We're going to focus on leading with selling in the DMs, okay? I got a pet peeve about how people sell in the DMs. We're going to talk about how to do it from an authentic, human speak, genuine perspective that is all about relationship building first and then money to follow later, all right? Oh boy, and then day 5, we're going to be talking about operations. Really? I know that's not a very sexy sexy topic. No one ever wants to talk about operations, but you know what? If you want to scale your purpose into those multiple 6 figures, you got to talk about operations. Operations. Oh, Sandra said it was me. Okay, all right. Thanks, Sandra. Oh, by the way, I'm wearing Sandra's earrings from her sparkly jewelry line as well too. See? All right. Okay. And then I'm also doing some VIP bonuses today, y'all. Y'all probably didn't even know this, but for all of my like extra action takers who want more than just the 5 days with me, I'm doing some exclusive VIP trainings. One, I'm giving specific critique to those that are so you'll be getting your roadmap like for those 5 days, and you're like, hey Elizabeth, I would love for you to give me some specific critique and feedback. Yeah, I'm gonna give you some critique. I'm gonna give you some feedback. I'm gonna keep it real. I'm going to help you figure out what levers you need to pull. And then we're also doing a training, a VIP bonus training on what makes an average offer like compared to a yes-worthy, irresistible offer. Like before and after, what are some things that you need to think about? And I'm going to provide actual case studies from different industries and sectors on like what makes a good offer versus a not so good offer, right? Because I want you to see the difference between what's average and what everyone else is doing and what's yes-worthy, customer yes-worthy, and what's irresistible. And you notice that I use the word offer versus product or program. This is completely different, okay? And I'm going to talk about what that is in the bootcamp too. Excited? Who's excited? I see people excited about this. And then, how else can I not talk about having your best self and best sell ever in 2021 with 11 months to go without talking about the success mindset, the millionaire mindset shift, right? Woo! That's a lot. That's a lot of good stuff. But you guys, this is like literally, I'm giving you everything on really what it takes to grow a business. This is not just a boot camp, my friends, on, I love my social media folks, on just how to do something, right? Because you can get, I'm trying to figure out how to zoom out now, because you can get all of that on YouTube. You don't need me to show you how to do that, right? But I want you to take a look at this and ask yourself if this is a hobby or if it's a business. Is it a hobby or a business? Type that into the comments. When you're looking at this, is it a hobby or is it a business that you're building? Because these are all the different systems. Remember how I said one of those third levers, if you want to make that move for more sales and the best self and best sale ever, is you got to connect. This is what I'm talking about. When I talk systems, these are all of the things that we need to do in a business, especially in the online space, to grow and scale. Whether you're looking at hitting your first 6 figures in your business, your next 6 figure, or like where you want to go, your next 7 figure, these are the systems you need to have in place. And I really boil it down to 3 different types of systems. Here's a hot tip. I call your customer success system, your value system, your wow value system, your differentiator system, right? And then the third one, I'm drawing a blank right now. Oh, it's your lead system, right? So that's like, we're building it all out. Those that choose to be like, I'm going to show up, I want the extra VIP trainings, like I really want an actual business. This is not a hobby. This is a lot of work for a hobby, right? So are you loving that? Are you loving that? Let me know in the comments. Kajol says, me. Sandra says, love it, right? So that's what we're covering inside the bootcamp, launchtosoldout.com. We're actually doing a pre-party this week because we had so many goodies from my collaborators that are participating that I was like, let's just do it early. Let's just do it a week early. It's always fun to do things like that online. So that's what we're covering. So I want you to think about that, right? So I shared with you the high-level strategy of really the money levers in your business to pull so that you really can figure out, like, how do I make more money? And let me just keep this real with you too, okay? These money levers, it's not just unique to small business owners. These are the money levers that when I was working in corporate as a consultant, these were the money levers that we were looking at a very high level for millions and millions of dollars globally, right? We were looking at how do we develop new products? What are these money levers? Who are the players that we need? Looking at ventures and businesses to buy out. How are they performing? Are they doing well in these money lever areas before the big company can buy them out, right? So these money levers are things that I just didn't make up, right? Like I've done it for big companies. And what I've done now is just said, okay, how do we just scope it down to a small business owner, a solopreneur, a medium-sized team who's just maybe looking to get to six figures, to maybe multiple six figures, just seven figures, right? So I've just completely simplified that because here's what I found to be true, right? A lot of the different coaches and experts out there, they will only teach you one thing. They will only teach you either marketing, and they will only teach you maybe like how to create content. They will only teach you how to do sales or how to do operations, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. Like all of these are, you need to go really deep on at some point, but it's all about just in time learning and doing. Where are you at in the stage of your business so that you can build just enough and know enough to really just hit that next milestone? That first mile is what I call it, whether it's $10,000 a month, $20,000 a month, $30,000 a month, whatever that milestone is for you, build it, hit it. And then if you need to go deep, that's when you bring the experts in, right? And you go deep in whatever area it is, or you outsource or you hire or you delegate to someone else to do it for you, right? But you have to know all the different pieces inside of a business if you're really serious about this, y'all. Who's serious about this? Are you serious about this? I had a couple of people that were messaging me about whether or not they should still come to the boot camp because they don't yet have a business or they're just thinking about it. And I would say, come to the boot camp anyways, because here's what I have found to be true. Can I share that with you? If you've been thinking about it, it's not that you just woke up yesterday and you thought about it and now you're asking me. You've been thinking about it for a pretty long time, right? And you just haven't quite said yes to what you really deeply, deeply want. Because maybe there's fear, right? Like you don't want to say yes because you don't know if anyone's going to buy it. You don't know if you're going to make money. You don't want to say yes because maybe you're the breadwinner. And if you say yes to that, then, oh my gosh, how are you going to, replace your job, your corporate, income? Or maybe you haven't said yes because that means that something in your life has got to change. Like you have this belief that, oh my gosh, my kids need me right now. So if I say yes to this, how am I going to find time? Right? Or if I say yes to this, like what are my friends and family going to think? What if I don't make it? What if I fail? Right? So all of these are real fears that are there, right? They're real fears that are sort of staring you in the face and you haven't said yes yet, but you've skirted around it. You've kind of danced around it, right? Because saying yes to what you really want somehow means that you got to face these fears. And that's really, really, really scary. I've been there. But what I have found to be true about overcoming any kind of fear is you've got to take action. What you're saying yes to isn't that you're going to leave your job tomorrow, right? And start on this idea tomorrow as soon as you leave your job. What you're saying yes to is you're giving yourself permission to say, you know what? Yes, I really want that. I really want that freedom business. Yes, I really want the dream of having an online business so that I could have flexibility over my time. Now, what does that start to look like? How does that start to work? How am I going to replace my income? That you can figure out later. But first, you got to give yourself permission to say yes to what you really want. Because when you cannot say yes to what you really want, you sort of like just kind of dangle out there. And you're in this like not quite happy moment, right? So come to the boot camp, get it out of your system, right? And really start to look at, because I think what you're going to find is that it's way more doable than you think it is. And what I find is that when you are facing fear, it's because you're in your head too much. But once you start taking action, even baby step towards that little yes that you really want before you get to that big yes, which is, okay, I'm quitting my job. I'm doing this full time. That's a big yes. These are like little baby tiny step yeses that if you're giving yourself permission to do that, you're going to realize that it is so much more doable than you could ever imagine. And that's, for me, when fear started to go away. Fear started to go away when I realized, oh my gosh, I can do it. I can do it. It's not some imaginary like magic out there that I can't access, right? So that's the key. So I invite you, sign up for the launch to soldout.com bootcamp. See what you're really made of, right? Like, how will you know until you have put yourself to the test to make that happen? Okay. So if you want today's handout on my notes and things like that today, just type handouts. I already see that my team is already on it. She's like, Ayana is like, awesome. She's like, on it, right? And join me inside of the Online Business Builders and Entrepreneurs community group. It's my free community for compassionately ambitious entrepreneurs. And we are doing our pre-party launch with lots of giveaways and freebies this week. And I was just telling the group yesterday that I just recently got another free giveaway that I'm super duper excited for, but I can't talk about it right now. Well, because we're going to give it away, and I love surprises. right? So make sure you sign up for that. And this is all completely free. There's no catch, right? There's no catch. I think one of the things you're going to find about me is I like to keep things real, transparent, and I am all about you showing up for you. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Here's the worst thing that can happen after you said yes. You can change your mind. You'd be like, nope, I'm not doing that. But you know what? It's out of your system. There's no lingering. There's no side effect. It's out of your system. You got it out of your system. Now you can move on to the next thing. That's the worst thing that can happen, is you can change your mind. And how bad is that really, right? So next week, we are not doing tasty yeses because I'm going to be busy inside my boot camp. So if you want to hang out with me for a whole week next week, right? I'm going to be at boot camp. So we won't be here next week, but join me at the boot camp, launch to sold out. 90 days is what I often say is the magic number to make things happen. And I promise you, you'll be really pleasantly surprised that in 90 days, your whole entire life can change. Now, the only person standing between you and what you really want is you. So I will see you inside the community group or at the boot camp next week. Bye.